Y'all know what it is, it's the mob. Today I have Junji figures from Unbox Industries. These came in a blind box of 6. It would have been nice if they included maybe a glow in the dark or something like that. From the blind box that are out there, there's 2. There's a black and white. There's also a color edition. The reason they did that, there's anime in the manga. I know that there's the fans of the manga where they're just so insistent that the anime is good. I like the anime. I like the original art from the manga. And that's what it is, essentially, is that the stories aren't as rich, the animation ain't as good as original drawings, and it's just like that. People just have to deal with it. When things get translated into movie, into animation and things like that, they're going to be less than. But anyway, before I go too far, to each their own. People like the anime, people like the manga, people don't like the anime. It's up to you to decide. Getting into the first box. I haven't had a chance to mention that these come with their own stand. You can see the name in Japanese and where it plugs in, plug in. So it plugs in like, if I can plug it in. If you can see right there, it's not plugging in. So guess I could call Big Bad Toy Store, and if you can see what's going on, there's that piece right there. That's not cool. And I can't find my X-Acto knife. So the mysteries of living with a woman who's unable to locate things after she safely puts them away. That is my issue. But anyway, just to get to the figure, forgive me for that. I'll have to clear that up later. This is Tomy. Very nicely painted in my opinion. I like it a lot. Here's the base knocking around. I'll get that down in the final picture. Her story, if you don't know it, she's a model that goes around. She finds artists. The artists do crafts of her, whatever their trade is, whether it be sculpture or painting. She drives them crazy because she's so beautiful. She disappears, they try to find her again. It varies between the manga and the anime on how far and how deep the story goes. Here it is with the bust on the platform. I want to apologize real quick. Look at the way this is angled. See that? And with me, I jumped the gun, blaming my woman, so I'm gonna apologize right now. I'm sorry. It was my fault. Into the second one. Hopefully, this one will go a lot better. Bear with me, it will get better. And if you can tell already, this is Mayumi. The story goes with her is that she's mentally ill. I guess that's the best way to put it. Her father and her family is really affluent. They finally hire someone that's able to help her because she's constantly confused. She's unable to make decisions. I cannot remember the woman that they hire. Forgive me. That helps her out. But she whispers in her ear, and it's more a sinister thing than it is a helpful thing, of course. She looks like she could be Snow White. I don't know if you ever seen that story by Junji. She could double for both, in my opinion. That was one of the factors why I chose to paint it as opposed to the black and white. The black and white doesn't have the blood drip on her, so I thought it was a better choice. Into number 3. Hopefully we could go to 2 straight with no mishaps. On my part. This is the guy, Suichi. I'm the heavier protector. Let me get this off. Here's Suichi out of the package. Not too sure why they bundled them up like that. It's vinyl. Maybe they're still scared of these breaking. They seem kind of like they would. Not like normal vinyl where it bends and it pops right back into shape. might be the case. I'm not gonna mess around with it. See how this one is angled. Here he is on the base. And his eyes, if you notice later on in the anime and also in the manga, his eyes are shaded. You see the original story, his eyes weren't like that. So that's what they're going by. In his stories, he can make dolls alive. He has voodoo dolls to make people sick. He could influence people with his voice. Get a close-up of the nails, if that's possible. And he has an iron deficiency, so that's why he's supposedly one of the reasons why he carries around nails in his mouth, so he could get that iron back in his body. But besides that, being a creep, because Suichi is a creep. And these, if you don't know what they are, they're candles to light his way. So he ties them in a headband so he could see at night from doing all his mischievous things. Going on to number 3. Hopefully this ain't too painful. I don't know why it's seemed like it's been a long time, but maybe because I have to go back and fix everything. This is the Interstate Bishonen. He's a mysterious boy. I guess he would be a teenager or early 20s adult. I can't remember. But there's women, or girls I should say, around town who ask for fortunes, and in the fog he'll walk around and he'll tell them their fortunes, and it doesn't work out like it seems. They'll fall in love with someone and it won't go their way and they end up committing suicide, and that's what happens to all the girls. They commit suicide. There's more to the lore, but that's the basis of the story. Here he is on the base. Just to say again, I'm glad I picked the colored. That's the way he'll sit. Here is number 5. And this is Yuko. That was wrapped up too, like Suichi. And I'm sure it's to protect these. It seems like they will snap off. So if you get these, definitely be careful. The base is a little bit longer. Let's see if I put this in right. There we go. If you don't know the background to the story, she stops talking. Her friend notices that she isn't talking as much or talking to her. She doesn't go to school anymore. Her friend goes to her house to see what's going on with her. She noticed, well, it's rather obvious that her parents are killing the slugs. They're putting salt on them everywhere in the yard, and they're everywhere and they're trying to kill them. And eventually, she turns into a slug. You have to see the story for yourself. It's a pretty good one. Here's the last one, and we obviously know which one this is. It's Fuchi. She's a supermodel. Here she is out of the box, and I'll continue with the story after I open her. Here she is. To continue with the story, the boy has a bad feeling that something bad's gonna happen. And I get that feeling, I'm sure a lot of people do. Like, something bad's gonna happen. He has that feeling. He doesn't know what's going on. He happens to notice her picture as a supermodel, and she has creepy eyes. Couldn't give much detail on those, but they're essentially the same thing, but they kind of bloodshot. He noticed her picture in a modeling magazine, and she's a supermodel. They were going to do a film, or they end up doing a film. They hire one girl and then also Fuchi. While they're driving in the car to the location, and he's freaked out this whole time that she's real and she's right there, and he thinks the worst, and especially when they're driving in the car, she opens her mouth and she has a row of sharp teeth. She ends up eating some of them, and you'll just have to watch the story. There's a cross story where she ends up with Suichi, marrying Suichi, and they have a son. She is on the base. I'll get them all together. Just her one final shot. And My last thoughts. I'm happy I got the color version as opposed to black and white. Unbox Industries is making Izami and Kairi. So if you're into Junji Ito, I do recommend these figures. They're excellent. As the year progresses, I have to have back surgery, so that's going to keep me down. So I want to do a couple videos while that's going on, so I'll just have content to post up because I just don't want to leave everything dead. And I plan to do a lot this year. But salute, thank you from the mob. This is the Blind Box Bus from Junji Ito, from Unbox Industries. Y'all know what it is, it's the mob.